Hello, so now we're going to do a quick presentation as to how to do a zoning review. So at Flow, we have this little table that we use where we show the zoning district, the project description, and some elements that are required for the particular project. And we show what the existing area is, if we're going to add to the area, what's the proposed, and what the total should be. The first thing I need to know is where is this project located? So this project is located at 8 Andover Road in Beverly, Massachusetts. And to be able to effectively do a zoning review for a project, you got to know where it is located and what district it is located and what the different districts are there so that you know what the applicable regulations are for your case. To find the district of this address, the thing to do is to go on a web browser. It could be, can you see my screen here? So it will be finding the location of your project. So you can say Beverly, Massachusetts, um, zoning bylaws. That's one thing you're gonna research for. The other thing you're gonna research for is Beverly, Massachusetts zoning map. I'll tell you what the meaning of each one is. So the zoning map is gonna show you where you are within the district. Typically the maps are a big map with different colors, and the different colors represent a district. And you're gonna find your address on that color. And then once you find your address on that color, you're gonna know what the color is for your particular project. And then you're gonna know what your what the applicable bylaws are for your particular district. So after you find the map, you can go to the City of Beverly website. Sometimes it's very straightforward to find it. City of Beverly map. Here you go, right here. So that should show all of the districts. This one doesn't. So this would be the pavement. The zoning map is what we're talking for, right? So that's the one. And the zoning map is like that. It's got all these colors. I'm gonna download it so that we can see it a little bit better. So we go here. Um, I'm gonna save it on the desktop, so that's easy to find. And then after you find the map, you open it. Looks like this. Okay. So we're gonna find 8 Andover. Something that has been working for me is to literally just say Control F and then Andover. And it tells me where the Andover is, and it highlighted it already there. So just zoom in and you make sure it is Andover Road. So already all of it or most of it on Andover Road is this very dark or orange color, this orange color. It's not the darkest, it's this one. Now, if you were to just go by the color, you might get confused because they're so close, right? This versus that are very close. But the thing is, it does say that this is a R10. Because I'm very experienced with zoning bylaws, I know that this means residential 10. This other one right here means residential 22, and that is your zoning district. So R10. That's all this map is for. You don't need to do anything else in here. So if I was you, I would go into my Revit file folder, and I immediately would come here and say zoning district. This is not in Everett, this is Beverly Ma, and it will be R10 district. We don't know what it means yet, what R10 really means. It could be residential, it could be whatever, but we're gonna know a little bit more when we do the next step. But it already tells R10. And this is the map, this is all you need. And there's some other things here that, overlays and things like that, but you don't need to worry about it. So now that we've found our district, the only thing that we need to now find is the zoning bylaw for this town and the applicable zoning bylaws for us within the town. So we forget about the zoning, the district, and then go to zoning bylaw. So now most of the towns in Massachusetts have been doing this e-code where everything is actually online and you don't have like a PDF or anything like that. It's good and bad. The good thing is that it gets updated and you always have the most updated because you go to the website. The bad thing is I just like to have a PDF. Sometimes it's easier to navigate, just like I search for that map, my address, I could search something very easily. Here, it's a little bit more difficult. But I'm gonna keep using this for the purpose of teaching. And what we're looking for is our table of dimensional regulation. So by the way, these terms are very important. So things like zoning map, table of dimensional regulation, zoning bylaws. Those are very, very important for you to get familiar with because when you write them, Google or any browser recognizes them and they're most of the time terms that are used. So here I'm gonna write table of dimensional regulations. And look, it found it. It found something that has to do with table of dimensional regulations. So you're gonna, there is table and density regulations for on-site units, table of dimensional requirements. You can test which one of them has what you want. I would start with the first one. And it should be a table like this. Ta-da, capiche. That's really what we're looking for. I'm gonna download it so that I don't open it from my browser and it's a little bit easier to actually see. And then I'm gonna open it here. I don't know why I do that extra step. I could just open it directly, but okay. What are we looking for? Well, we're looking for R10. So R10 is this. This is all we're looking for right now. Well, my bad there. Let me do that. See if I can do this. Those are the things that you're gonna populate your Revit file with. Those are the things that you gotta follow. By the way, zoning reviews have to be done first because that way you know whether you're gonna be doing as of right or not. This project description doesn't matter. You're gonna update it. It has to do with what you are trying to do on your project. But this one, these other things are very important. So let's try to understand what this table is asking for. So the city of Beverly has a bunch of different districts. Districts are divided in different zones, different places in the map for many reasons. Some of the obvious ones are we don't want factories next to houses, or we don't want hospitals next to certain other uses, or shipyards, or some sort of commercial buildings throughout our neighborhood where we live. So they've divided it to segregate the different things for a particular use for a particular density. And they do overlays where they want to allow certain type of use that seems to be triggering business and things like that. And all of this is a constitutional right of every town to be able to determine what their town should feel and look like. And it has to do with safety too, and regulations in general. So to make the long story short, what we really need to worry about is R10 has to have a minimum of 10,000 square feet as a lot for a parcel, for a lot or a piece of land. It has to have a 100-foot front yard or not front yard, but frontage. I'll explain what that is later. A front yard setback of 20 feet, side yard setbacks of 15 feet, and a rear setback of 25. So side yards includes left and right, and then a maximum building height of 35 feet. Or you can find explanations as to what all of these things mean on the actual zoning bylaw. I only grab this from the document, but you can actually find the description and definition of these things. For instance, for height, you might not know how they find it and how they do it. So they can explain to you how they determine a height. So that's where you're gonna come here and place on all of these things. And there may be things that they don't have. So minimum law area, we just said it was 10,000 square feet. You're gonna come here and say 10,000 square feet. Or just SF. Um, and then frontage, what was it that I said? 100, I think it was. And then I actually don't even need to say feet or square feet because you see the actual document says square feet in parentheses next to it, so you don't have to worry about it. So then 10,000, and we have so it was front 20, 15, 25. So the front is 20, the side is 15, and the rear is 25, and then the maximum, I think it was 35. They do not have a maximum lot coverage, or at least I didn't see that. They don't tell you how much of that lot you can build. but they do tell you where you shouldn't build. So you can't build anywhere within the 20 feet, 15 feet, and 25 feet, and you can't build any bigger than 35 feet. Okay, as of right. Okay, that's you. You may be able to do these things, but you have to apply for a special permit or a variance. And these are the things that we care about. So you can just delete that piece. One thing I like to do, and I think we have to update it in our Revit folder, is to show what's provided versus what's required. Because you may have a lot that does not have the 10,000 square feet and it's an existing non-conforming. Nothing you need to do about it, but if you're going to increase the non-conformity of it, you immediately have to go through the zoning board of appeals. You can't just increase the non-conformity of a lot. All right, and then you can just follow these steps. So now I would argue that we can go through our exercise and verify whether what we have right now is correct or incorrect, or whether our project can be done as of right or not. So if we were to find a site plan, I'm not sure if we have one in here, but I'm going to just open an existing floor plan just for the sake of this. So you can begin to put your setbacks where they go, your property lines where they go, and things like that. Now, to find your property line, you will need a survey, or you can use a mortgage inspection plan as a basis. Mortgage inspection plans are not generally accurate. They're not good for these type of things, but they are good starting points so that you know whether you have what you need and whether you can build within the property or the dimensions that the client has required or requested. And that is it. Those are the steps. You know where your zoning district is, you know what your table of dimensional regulation tells you, and now you just got to go through the exercise and see if what you're doing complies or if it doesn't comply. Um, and this is a very simple, quick exercise. There's more to it, but this gets the job done.